Hi, I'm Matt, Key Renter Tulsa, and I've been a franchisee. I think officially I signed up with Key Renter in about October or November. I've had my doors open since January, and I think Key Renter is a great organization. They provide a ton of support on the marketing, on how do I even explain it? I think the starting point is that they get the website up and running for you. They handle all of your Google AdWords spend. They handle your SEO. They handle your SEM, and they just basically start you on third base. I mean, I think if you haven't done property management before, you may not know a bunch of the tricks of the trade, and Key Renter gets you kind of halfway there, and the rest is up to you to build your business and kind of hustle with entrepreneurial vigor. But Key Renter certainly positions you well for that, and just gives you a manual on how you can run and operate a business. Essentially, business in a box. They say, here are the tools you need. Run with it, basically, and it's been a fantastic journey, honestly. So I actually started investing in property years ago, and I was managing those properties myself with my sister in kind of an ad hoc way. Every property had its own LLC, and every LLC had its own bank account, and so checking rents, whether they came in, was a kind of a cumbersome process. And when I moved to Oklahoma in July, I realized that I was in acquisition mode. I started buying property, and we were buying apartments, we were buying duplexes, single family, and I realized that I needed a much more robust way to manage those properties. And I thought having Key Renter as the backbone of my management business is definitely the way to go. It just meant that in addition to managing my properties, I was going to go out and manage third-party properties. And I love the idea of having a little residual drip each month, something that I can actually take each month and actually go ahead and reinvest back into more property, which is what I do. So Key Assist is fantastic between Val and Curtis and to some extent Aaron. It's amazing for taking workload off of the franchisee when we start. I know initially I used Val to do the inputting of all my contracts, the inputting of all my vendor forms. So when vendors would come and sign up, I would say all that information just gets put onto Val's plate, and she enters everything in AppFolio. The same thing with new owners that we're onboarding, and then of course Curtis does a tremendous job. Is tremendously helpful to us on the accounting side, managing AppFolio. I don't know what we would do without him. So that's a tremendous value. I think as you grow and as you have more administrative requirements, you kind of outgrow Val eventually, and you want to have your own assistant, whether they're virtual or in your office, and that helps to de-bottleneck some things. I now do through an assistant. I do all of my contracts, all of my owner data input, all of my property input, and then a lot of the marketing stuff that we do, not from the website itself, but we have to market the properties on AppFolio and then on Craigslist and then on Facebook, and a lot of that stuff goes through my assistant, which is incredibly helpful. But certainly Key Assist and Val and Curtis are the backbone when you're first starting, and they just take a ton off your plate so that you can focus on what's really important to your business, growing your business, which is getting new clients, getting new tenants, and really that path of conversion. If you are thinking about joining Key Renter, you're on the fence, I would say what you get from this team is a group that is of the highest level of integrity. They are really working on your behalf with your best interest in mind, to get your business off the ground and as successful as possible in as little time as possible. It's obviously our incentive structure is perfectly aligned. So the more money we make, the more money they make, which means that we're kind of always being pushed to do what will get us the best result with the least amount of effort and the least amount of cost. And that is a ton of research that the business has done in terms of what services we should be using, what processes are the best bang for your buck, the 80-20 rule. And just in general, you have a team in place that can support you in growing your business. And I mean, it just starts you on second base or third base. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already been created. Just take the process, the Key Renter method, and run with it, and it makes life so much easier. You can start on your own. You can build your own appfolio. You can build your own systems. You can build your own processes. But just take it from Keen Runner and run with it. It'll be much easier.